Hello class, my name is Professor Christian Aldo, and we are here today at the Plastic General School of Plastic for the purpose of higher education in toy soldier collecting of the 132 World War II toy soldier nature. And I am an expert, and I'm going to bestow some of this great knowledge onto you. So, the introduction's out of the way. Let's get started on some of the things that we're going to talk about today. And one of the most important things we need to talk about is scale. There's so much confusion and debate about scale. It drives me crazy. It's like, hey, 132, 130, 136, that's 136, that's 130. We're gonna sort it all out right here. And then I'm gonna question you after this class. But this is the first thing we're gonna discuss today. So let's get to it. Okay, so the three basic scales that dominate our hobby is 1/35th scale. Now, which is the natural enemy of our hobby. And not to mention the evil of 172. 172 is the antithesis of evil. It should be destroyed. It has nothing to do with us. The figures are like this big. If you sneeze, poof, the whole table goes everywhere. You don't. That's disgusting. And this is like a weird, like an estranged wife or an estranged relative. The enemy, another enemy of our hobby. But we collect 132 because we love 132. It's about the size of your pinky. It's 132 scale, and which is equal to 54 millimeters, supposedly. And then, of course, in the 2000s, at the turn of the millennium, thanks to Richard Conte, he came up with 1/30th scale, or to be friendly, we like to call it Big 132. But it's all within the umbrella of our beloved hobby. Now let's go into these figures now, and let's investigate for ourselves to see what's what and who's who. Okay, so the first thing we're going to discuss is 1/35th scale. 1/35th scale comes out to 50 millimeters from head to toe. Okay? And these are figure kits. They're not toy soldiers. They're designed to be put together as kits, painted, and to be put permanently into dioramas. Why? Because if you played with them, they would break. They're not meant to be played with. And they're 50 millimeter. They're not really part of our hobby, but they are kind of related, like a weird deformed cousin or something. Okay? So, let's get started with the difference between 1/35th and 132. Now, on the smaller end of 132, you get some of Airfix's early sets some of Airfix's sets that they made, and they come out to about 52 millimeters. Now, like in any company, when they're creating something by scale, sometimes there's little screw-ups. So these tend to be a little bit smaller within the 16 sets that Airfix did of World War II, including the Italians, maybe a little on the smaller side. They come out to 52 millimeters. Now, some other sets that are also kind of in this realm would be Forces of Valor came out with a German set that's a little on the dinky side. The ever-beloved Pegasus German paratroopers. The Revell, the 4 Revell sets that came out in the mid-90s, and then the early Waffen-SS set by Mars, which later on they would adjust, and now they do perfect 132. But you see the difference between these guys and 1/35th? 1/35th is dinky, man. It's really small, so I don't want to hear that crap anymore about Airfix being 1/35th. It's stupid. Stop saying it. It's not true. Now, these are 52 millimeter. Now let's move up to 132 proper. Okay, now in my opinion, this is the true gold standard of true 132, which would be the Airfix multi-pose figure sets. These are kits that are designed to be played with, but also used for dioramas. But because they're bigger, they're a little thicker, and the weapons can't be broken as well. But see the size difference between them and the 52 millimeter and the 54 millimeter. So this is the gold standard for true 54 millimeter. Now here are some other famous manufacturers that will blend perfectly. Britain's Detail. The ever silly Atlantic. Oh, look at this. The Eschi. Who else? Oh, Matchbox. All truly 132. Oh, then you have the Hing Fat set. The Hing Fat. Then of course, Forces of Valor. Proper. And then Waterloo. 21st Century Toys. Italeri. Marks. Good old Marks. And, of course, Mars. These are all truly true 132 scale. 54 millimeter, my friends. Don't make me get out the 54 millimeter. Okay? 132 scale. This is what everything is based on. I mean, like Forces of Valor vehicles, every damn 132 scale vehicle, blah, 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 blah. But there it is. This is the center of the spectrum. Now we move on to the next league now. Okay, so what do we got so far? We have 135th scale. We have small 132. We have 132 proper. Then the maker that started the revolution, and we're not scolding him for it because it was the true renaissance of toy soldier making in our hobby, Conte Collectibles. They went and they came out with like, he kind of, because the metal hobby was sort of like in a 132 scale, a 130th scale, which was a little bit more. It's kind of like, what are the figures? The figures are a little bit more like, I don't know, like, not 50. They're like 54, 58, 59, 50, like so almost 60 millimeter. They're a much bigger, more robust and rounder type figure. But the cat was out of the bag. Once he introduced this scale, everybody jumped on the bandwagon because it was just very exciting. Lots of girth. Even my girlfriend liked it. But that was the Conte revolution, and here are all the sets that follow along with Conte and that are compatible with Conte. But by the way, the 52 and the 54 millimeter are very, very compatible together. So they always work. And 135th, that's only if you're desperate for something. But out it goes. Okay, so in 1999, Conte came on the scene with their robust and fantastically sculpted figures. And they left such an indelible impact, everybody started to follow suit. So then Toy Soldiers of San Diego came out, and they also are a compatible scale. And then Austin Miniatures, and then Weston out of England followed suit, and then Classic Toy Soldiers. And then there's even a 70s company that kind of accidentally did it. Sometimes you'd get these sort of larger, bigger 132, like Gene Hoffler or something like that. And then the craziest revolution of all. I'm going to have to take these down, or put them back here, because then the Russians got a whiff of what was going on, and then they couldn't be stopped. So let's So then there was Engineer Basovich came out with gorgeously compatible figures. Engineer Basovich. And then, of course, Plastic Platoon and Publius. All very, very compatible figures. Bum 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 rum bum bum rum bim bum 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 ha 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 ha. And then like Vampil, another Russian company, also very compatible in scale. And of course, I mentioned Plastic Platoon already with their paratroopers and with their Marines. But then you got something a little crazier. A couple companies went so out of control, but now their scales were starting to exceed even the large scale 132, like BMC or what's it called? Expeditionary Force. So, I mean, these are a little bit too big, but whatever floats your boat, man. Huh. Keep dropping stuff. So here you have it, man. This is, you got your 135th. You got your smaller 132, which is like 52 millimeter, and then 54 millimeter proper. And then, like 56, 57, or 58 millimeter. But they're all within the family. Least of all this one, the estranged one. But there you go. These are the goddamn scales. And that's the relations that I explained to you. That's reality. What is my favorite scale? Well, not this. I mean, I love them too. I would always, but it's a toss-off. It's like in a divorce, mom and dad. Who are you gonna go with? You're gonna go with your mom. You're gonna go with your dad. With 132 proper, it's compatible with Forces of Valor, 21st Century Toys, and any amazing model kit that they come out with. But it's undeniable that some of the most beautiful and gorgeous figures ever made come out in this large scale 132. I collect all, and I collect them all religiously, so it's all a matter of taste. And they're still compatible with 132 vehicles, but that's your first lesson that you learned today. So that concludes our class for today. Remember your homework assignments. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, sir. You over there. Yes, sir. I just can't figure out why anybody would spend all that money on expensive 132 scale figures when they can buy all of these like 1/72 scale figures for a fraction of the cost.